People keep saying 2023 was a warm up, 2024 is my year, but I feel like that's all cap. It's all BS. Someone has a different opinion than you doesn't mean they're a bigot. Fastest way to kill a dream is tell it to a small thinker. People want to see you do good, but they don't want to see you do better than them. And that's leave the gender wars in 2023. Let's just leave it behind. Like, we live in a real evil world. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like this virtue signaling has become like the modern day activism, bro. Like, everybody and their mother is like remixing Kevin Samuels. Like, bro. Alright, welcome back to the show. You already know what it is. It's your boy Don. Brand new year. And we're already back. You already know what it is. Yeah, it's gonna be a little bit different this year. Gonna be doing more of these solo podcasts. I feel like they're kind of interesting because I feel like it would be an opportunity for y'all to kind of like get to know me and my thoughts and stuff like that. So I'm gonna do a lot more of these like solo podcasts going forward. First one of the year. So yeah, we'll see how this goes. Wasting no time, let's jump into the main topic of this video, which is things we are leaving behind in 2023. Yeah, there's a lot of things, like a lot of things we should leave behind in 2023. Like, I'm gonna go through the list of things this year. Some of these I've thought a lot about. Some of these are like stuff like societal things. Some of these are like things I've thought about in my own personal life and stuff like that. So we're gonna go through a list of things to leave behind 2023. The first thing to leave behind in 2023. Can we leave behind cancel culture in 2023? I feel like with cancel culture and everything, like, everybody is so sensitive these days. Like, everything is like trigger warning, this, that, all this, that, and the third. Everybody's getting offended by every little thing. It gets to a point where like comedians can't even make jokes anymore because everybody's so offended by everything. You know what I'm saying? Like, and like it even affects like movies and Hollywood and stuff like that. Because nowadays they don't even make movies that are funny anymore because we're walking on eggshells trying not to offend anybody, right? Because like everybody's so scared to get canceled. I feel like people used to watch movies to like escape from reality and like, and enjoy genuine storytelling, but nowadays it feels like everybody like a political agenda in them these days, and it's just like to push the message. Yeah, like I'm critical drinker, but like, yeah, like I feel like nowadays it's like trying to push like a certain agenda or a certain point of view, right? Like it feels like, yeah, it's just like everybody is scared to get canceled. So like there's no such thing as genuine storytelling in movies and stuff like that. I want to watch movies for the genuine storytelling, but they don't tell good stories anymore. Disney's losing billions of dollars doing yeah, Disney is losing billions of dollars. I don't know why they keep doing it, because I feel like it's like, I'm not even gonna get too much into that, but like, yeah, Disney is losing a bunch of money because they're pissing people off. You know what I mean? And I feel like we need to leave this cancel culture thing in 2023 because I feel like it's ruining Hollywood, it's ruining comedy, and I don't know. I think it's just causing everybody to walk on eggshells, right? So I think we should leave cancel culture in 2023. We should leave virtue signaling in 2023. Listen, I feel like nowadays virtue signaling has become like the modern day activism, bro. Like, everybody wants to be like, if you want to be activist, that's cool. I ain't got nothing against that, but it's like, I feel like it's become so much virtue signaling. I feel like now everybody's trying to be like, who's the bigger saint, and if they don't agree with your opinion or whatever, like if someone doesn't agree with your viewpoint, that automatically makes them a bigot, or like, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like that too. That side note, can we leave the term bigot in 2023? Like that is the most annoying word I've ever heard in my life. Like just because someone disagrees with you, you automatically got like, oh, you're a bigot, you're this, that. Like, bro, like, can we like leave that in 2023? Like, moving into 2024, can we just learn to accept people for like who they are instead of their political views. Like, wouldn't that be great if we just like left all that behind and just like got to know the person in front of us instead of trying to figure out whether or not they agree with what we, you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like if you can't judge a person based off of their like political views and stuff like that. Like let's go back to the days when we would just, you know, judge people based off like their character rather than what they believe in, right? Like, we can't allow ourselves to be defined by our political views and stuff like that. We need to go back to like just not judging people. Ever since the pandemic, like, it's been a game of who's the bigger saint, right? Like, who got their jab first, who was the first one to get the jab, yada yada yada, right? And you people will judge each other whether or not they got the jab or not. And it's like, yo, like, if someone didn't, you know what I mean? And now, fast forward to today, it doesn't even matter whether or not you got the jab because we're not in lockdown anymore. So all of that division was caused for nothing, right? Burned bridges, burned relationships over nothing, really. Like, it doesn't even matter anymore. It doesn't even matter anymore whether or not you got the jab or not. It caused a division for nothing, right? And where am I going with this? It's like the virtue signaling. Like, everybody wants to be, people would rather front that they're virtuous than actually being virtuous, right? Being said, let's just leave virtue signaling in 2023 because it causes a whole lot of division, and I think we should just embrace our unique different opinions and just, like, you know, learn to be okay with disagreeing with people. Like, it's okay to disagree, it's okay to have a different opinion, and just because someone has a different opinion than you doesn't mean they're a bigot, right? So yeah, I just want to say that's all I wanted to say for that. So let's leave virtue signaling 2023. Now, last year there was a whole trend of like gym girls like putting cameras out and stuff like that and trying to catch dudes like staring at them through the camera and stuff. Can we leave that trend in 2023? Like let's be like, listen, it might come to a shock, but some people actually go to the gym to work out, not to watch you. Like, a lot of people think like, oh, like they'll be watching you in the gym, but it's like one of those things where it's like people are not as concerned with you as you think, right? Like, so like sometimes people, like, for example, like myself, like I would just be staring into space, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm just like, you're just thinking about nothing, and it may come off as like they're staring at you, but it's like, nah, they might have just been staring into space. Like, because I remember last year there was a whole trend of like this one, I don't remember the girl's name, but she posted on TikTok of some dude, like, I guess he was quote unquote staring or something. And then it became a huge thing, and everybody's like everybody walking on eggshells and stuff in the gym because they don't want to look like creep. But like, let's leave that in 2023. Not every dude in the gym is a creep. Don't get me wrong, there are some creeps out there, you know what I'm saying? So I want to address those too. I want to address those guys too. If you are a creep in the gym, stop it. You're ruining it for you're ruining it for everybody else. You know what I'm saying? Stop being a creep. Don't be weird. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like, you know, there's two sides to it. I feel like they both gotta do their due diligence, right? Like, the creeps gotta stop being weird, you know, stop staring at people in the gym, stop being weird, stop staring at shorties in the gym, right? And for the shorties out there, you know, don't be quick to judge and label someone a creep because they might be staring into space. And you know, the world doesn't revolve around you. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that actually segues into like the next topic, which is gender wars. Let's leave the gender wars in 2023. Let's just leave it behind. Cause I feel like the past few years it's been like, you know, you've got the extreme high value man movement going on. You know what I mean? All women the same, yada yada yada. Everybody and their mother is like remixing Kevin Samuels. It's like, bro. And then you got on the other side the extreme Miss Independent Woman, Boss Babe, all this type of stuff, yada yada yada. Men deserve less, yada yada. I feel like it's like there's the past few years, just a clash of just of man versus woman. I feel like it's the opposite. I feel like we have chosen the wrong enemies. You know what I'm saying? I don't think we're supposed to be enemies. I think where is this hostility coming from? I don't understand it. Like, why do we feel that we need to like be enemies? It doesn't make sense. You know what I mean? Like, I just see, like, I don't know, this is just what I've seen on social media. Like, I see women just hating on each other for no reason at all. I mean, don't get me wrong, like, I feel like each side probably has its reasons for the frustration, but at the same time, it's like, I feel like it's just been amplified. It's become like extremist views on both sides. Like, I feel like we need to bring it back to the middle and kind of like figure this thing out together, right? Instead of creating a huge gender wars over it. Like, I feel like there's no point. Let's leave behind the gender wars in 2023 because it's not helping anybody, and I feel like it's just causing more division. And I'm noticing a pattern too with a lot of these trends and stuff. It really does cause, like, I'm noticing a lot of division. Man, I've talked about it before, but I'm gonna say it again. We need to leave horoscopes in 2023. I said it. Like, nothing says you have your life together than burning crystals in your backyard, man. Like, dude, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. It's like, yo, like, how are you a grown adult, right? A grown adult burning crystals, believing in horoscopes, and like, I don't know. Like, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Like, I feel like horoscopes were supposed to be like those fun things, like look at or read when you were like a little kid. But if you're like a grown adult and you're relying on the stars to tell you whether or not you should tie your shoes or eat breakfast, I feel like I don't know. I feel like that's a problem. I feel like it's a problem. Like, the idea of burning crystals in your backyard, that sounds crazy to me. I'm sorry, but that sounds like kind of psychotic. You're on fire burning crystals, saying kumbaya. Like, nah, you lost it. Like, you lost the plot. A lot of you guys lost the plot. I'm gonna be real. I noticed it's mainly like, I've never seen like a dude worship like horoscopes or crystals before. It's mostly like girls that do that type of stuff. If you're a dude that likes, for some weird reason, you like horoscopes, comment down below. Let me know. I don't know, I've never seen a dude really get into horoscopes like that. But I'll be interested in hearing your thoughts on like why you guys like to burn crystals and like believe in horoscopes and stuff like that. It doesn't really make sense to me, but I don't know. Maybe some of you guys can make it make sense, right? So with that being said, instead of burning sage, let's burn the idea that the alignment of the stars is gonna solve your problems, right? It's just not. I feel like it's cope. It's cope, right? It's cope. But it is what it is, you know what I'm saying? But hey, if you want to burn crystals and believe in horoscopes and zodiac signs, all that, hey, all the power to you. But I don't know. I think it's one of the things we should leave in 2023. Can we leave hustle culture? Well, some aspects of it in 2023. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm all for like the hustle culture, self-improvement, working hard and stuff like that. I feel like that's all like good stuff. I feel like it only gets toxic when like for example, like a lot of the hustle culture is like heavily like tied in with like entrepreneurship. I feel like a lot of people try to force entrepreneurship everybody, and they think like, oh, everybody should be an entrepreneur. Like, but I feel like we need to embrace more the idea that like not everyone wants to be an entrepreneur, and that not everyone should be one. You know what I mean? Like, if you want to work like a regular career, that's cool. Like, I feel like we need to normalize like doing what you want to do, right? Like, if you don't want to be an entrepreneur, then you don't have to be an entrepreneur. If you don't want to work a 9 to 5, then you don't have to work a 9 to 5, right? Like you got to figure out what you want to do and like you want to be. Honestly, like, instead of, I feel like society, we try to, maybe I should change that. Maybe I shouldn't say get rid of hustle culture, but like get rid of the idea of like forcing lifestyles on people, right? Like, I feel like you should be able to choose your lifestyle and what you want to do. I feel like that's what you should do. Like do what you want to do on the end of it, right? So let's leave the idea of like forcing lifestyles on people in 2023. Let's leave excuses in 2023. I've heard it all. I keep hearing the people keep saying 2023 was a warm up, 2024 is my year, but I feel like that's all cap. It's all BS, because it's like, it's one of those things where it's like, how, at what point are you just gonna get in the game? Like, not everybody keeps saying, oh, last year was a warm up, it was a warm up. Can't keep saying it was a warm up, right? And why do I bring that up? I bring that up to the point that people keep using excuses every time we approach like a new year. You know, that's when a lot of people, I like to call them January hustlers. You know, like, you say you're gonna do all these things in January, and then you end up forgetting about all those things you said you were gonna do in February, right? Like, if you make New Year's resolution lists, goal, like, you write them down and stuff, and then you don't look at it in February, you didn't create New Year's resolutions, you created a wish list, right? You created a wish list. Like, that's what you did, right? You created a wish list, right? Instead of creating a wish list, why don't you create a hit list? You know what I'm saying? A list of things you are actually going to accomplish, that you're actually going to stay dedicated to. Like, a lot of you guys are not consistent. You know, you're not consistent, you're not serious. You think all of a sudden, because it's January, say you're gonna do all these things, but it's like, bro, like, you gotta be for real. Like, you gotta be really about it, right? Like, you can't just say, oh, I'm gonna do all these things, and then March, it's like, you know, I feel like it makes you feel even worse, because once you hit January and you realize you didn't do all the things you said you were gonna do, so it honestly, at the end of the day, just makes you feel worse, right? So, with that being said, I think we should just, like, stop the excuses, because the excuses will hurt you in the end. So this last one, I would say stop oversharing your goals in 2024. Like, it's not for everyone to hear. Like, I feel like the goals to yourself, because I feel like not everyone is gonna be rooting for you. You know what I'm saying? Like, well, you could tell your goals and stuff to, like, your family and friends and stuff, like close ones that you trust. But I feel like most of the time, a lot of the time, I feel like that stuff you should keep to yourself. Why do I say that? Because I feel like the fastest way to kill a dream is tell it to a small thinker, right? Because, like, a lot of people are like really, like, negative. I notice these days, I feel like negativity is, like, really trendy these days, where, like, everybody wants to be, like, down on themselves, and they want to assume the worst. And, you know, and when you live in a society like that, it's best to kind of keep your goals and stuff to yourself for the most part, because you don't really need that energy and those mindsets contaminating you, right? Because, like, if you keep adopting those mindsets, it's gonna hinder you from achieving your goals, because you're gonna start to believe the lie the society tries to tell you and discourage you from achieving your goals, right? So keep your goals to yourself, because, you know, there's a lot of negativity. You have to protect your mindset and your goals. We live in a real evil world. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like this world is, like, really dark, right? I'm not even trying to sound like a pessimist or nothing like that, but it's pretty dark, man. Like a lot of time, like, people want to see you do good, but they don't want to see you do better than them. And, you know, that's just something you gotta live with, right? And with that being said, you have to kind of move strategically, right? So that's why you can't be oversharing your goals and stuff with just anybody. You gotta keep it, I would say, just keep it to yourself, right? Because a lot of people out here are gonna try and trick you out of your spot, right? I don't know. I think you can share, like, with some people you trust, that you know are not gonna try and trick you out of your spot, who are not gonna discourage you from going after your goals. But for the most part, I think keeping it to yourself is your best bet, to be honest, in today's day and age. That's just me, though. I mean, some people will argue and say, you know, you should tell people your goals because it helps keep you accountable. But I don't know. I feel like most times it's like you have to defend your goals from, like, negativity on a daily basis in today's day and age. Yeah. It brings me to our next one. This is a bonus one. Let's leave behind negativity in 2023, because I feel like negativity is like really trendy. I mentioned it before. Like, yeah, negativity is like really trendy. Like, everybody wants to be negative all the time. I feel like nowadays it's cool to like have like a victim mentality. It's cool to be down on yourself. Like, when are we gonna make optimism cool again? Why isn't optimism as trendy as negativity? Like, I feel like these days everybody just wants to be down on themselves. Like, cause like, and I know what I think it is. I think it's because nobody wants to take self accountability, want to take for making their lives better. It's just easier to blame outside forces. It's easier to blame your environment, right? I mean, yes, environment does play a role, but I feel like the more you can take accountability for what you can do to get in a better situation, the more control you will have eventually in the long run. Because these days we want to blame everybody else for why things are not going our way, right? People like, they just feed off negativity, right? They enjoy like the negative energy, and they like just being negative all the time, you know? And I think that should change. I think we need more optimism. People need to like believe in themselves more, need to go after their goals more, you know, and just be more positive. Like, you know, like, I feel like these days, like, negativity is cool and optimism is corny. Like, when you see someone being optimistic or seeing someone want to achieve something, we think that's corny. We think, oh, like, who the hell does this guy think he is, right? Like, instead, no, why don't you just support them, right? Like, you see someone going after what they want to do, you should just support them. Like, you don't need to hate, right? Like, because hating just says a lot more about you than it does them, right? So I think it's one of those things where it's like, just being positive, supporting each other, and, you know, if you see someone doing good, use that as inspiration for yourself to do good. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like negativity has become too trendy, and that's a problem. It's a real problem. If you like this sort of like style of video, I'm gonna do a lot more of these going forward in 2024. But you hit that like, and hit that bell notification so you are notified whenever I do drop a video. And yeah.